Hello, and thank you for joining me on Decoding Attachment Style. Thank you for coming on the podcast to share your story. We have made an agreement before you started that we are going to use a pseudonym for you should I need to address you, and this is to protect your identity on the program. Are we in agreement?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Well, what you can start with is giving me a little background into your story. Timelines are helpful,
Okay,
and your age and the other person's age. Just help
sure.
you know, how long you've known each other and what's going on in the brain system. But yes, go ahead.
This person and I met probably 2 years and a half ago, approximately 2023, June 2023, through a dating site. He is currently 42 and I'm 39.
Mhm.
We dated since June of 2023 until August of 2025.
As recently.
Yes,
All right. You guys met on a dating app.
yes.
What was it like for you in the beginning of the relationship?
We have amazing chemistry. We work in kind of similar roles, different industries, so we can relate a lot. So it will be very relieving, after work to have a great conversation about our day and how we address things during the daytime. We usually see each other very often. So we will see each other very often. We'll communicate often. We enjoy the same things. We have similar work schedules too. So it was pretty intense at the beginning
Hmm.
and it was pretty organized. And but things started shifting after like probably 2 or 3 months. I noticed that certain things that I to me was that he wanted me to meet his mother very right away. And to me it was a coincidence because the mom was in town and she didn't live in this town. So I was okay with that, even though it was a little too soon for me. Also, I noticed right away about the let's get to know each other, and I don't want to put things into labels and boxes. And I didn't kind of agree with that.
Hmm.
So after 3 months of dating, I let him go.
Hmm.
I was like, this is not going to work out for me. And after 3 weeks, he came back.
Hmm.
And for him, 3 weeks of me going not contact completely, it was, he couldn't believe that I would go not contact for 3 weeks.
Hmm.
Then we dated for another probably 3 4 months, and I started noticing little changes on him. He started talking to me a lot about his childhood. And because I've been working on my attachment style and I've been in therapy and I'm currently in therapy, I have been consistently for the last 2 years, no, 3 years kind now. I could kind of tell his demeanor. So what I did after the first time that we broke up, I put kind of boundaries, very firm boundaries. I don't need constant communication, but I need daily communication. And then he is a person who give you his word and he will do it.
Hmm.
But so I noticed that he started doing all those things that I asked him for. But then after a month and a half, he will go back to his old ways of very minimum communication, and he won't schedule things with me ahead of time. So it was a huge shift from the beginning of the relationship. After 6 months in the relationship, it seems like he was a different person.
Hmm.
He was a different person completely. He used to schedule everything with me, and I like to go by schedule. I'm spontaneous too, but I like to have an idea of what's going to go with my weekend. But then he started with the comments of, I don't want to plan anything for this weekend because I don't know how I'm going to feel in the weekend,
Hmm.
when he used to be a planner with me. And he continued to do the one time a day kind of call or text, but only because he knew that I would walk away if he didn't give me that bare minimum. So they were pretty much little crumbles for me not to go. And then after 6 months, we broke up again. And then I went no contact again, the same thing, same MO. After 3 weeks, he will come back.
Hmm.
Then I noticed that he started like not communicating enough with me in regards to work, and he will travel a lot. And I had to put another boundary there. Like, if I'm your person, why will you not talk to me about it? You're going to go on a trip. And then he will say that I was right. Okay, I'm going to communicate more with you. So it was a constant, back and forth. The one of the things that I had to, like, I really respect him the most, it was that we both agree not to. He didn't never had he doesn't have kids. He has never been married. I could tell he has some commitment issues and fears within intimacy,
Mhm.
uh, and even in the sexual aspect, things started to change, and he started pushing me more. But we did agree about my kids that we wanted to wait at least a year. Then we are like 100% sure in the relationship that it's going to be a long term thing before I introduce him to my kids. And for him, that was very, very important too,
Mhm.
that we were both on the same mindset in regards to that. One of the things that I communicated with him at the beginning of the relationship was, I'm dating with intention. I'm not planning to have any kids right now. I don't plan to get married next year or so, but I'm dating with intention. And my timeline, it's precious. So by the time I'm 40, I want to be married. It's either to you or to somebody else's, but don't make me waste my time. If at any moment you don't feel like this is the path that you want to go to, please let me know. And so this year in January, we will see each other every weekend. It used to be from Friday to Monday. And then since January, he started kind of pushing me more away. And it was like Saturday afternoon to Sunday night
Mhm.
because my kids will go to his dad and I will spend my weekend with him. So
Mhm.
I noticed that because he didn't know how he feel like for the weekend, I would stop all my plans just to go to his house on Saturday and wait and see what he wanted to do. So everything was pretty much what he wanted to do, kind of.
Mhm.
So I will not make my own plans because I wanted to see him. I didn't see him the whole week, and I was like, okay, I might as well to wait for him. And I have a very active social life. So during the week, I will still go out with my friends. So I didn't feel the need to book myself for the weekend, and I just want to be available for him. So in this year in January, I felt like we had a misunderstanding. We never like, it's not never, like he had snapped on me like 2 or 3 times, but not yelling, like cursing. It's just he will be frustrated. And whenever we had disagreements or he would be frustrated, he will stop communicating with me for 2 or 3 days. And then I will tell him we need to talk about this after a day or two. After like 2 or 3 days, I was like, we need to talk in person. So we will sit down and he would just unleash all these things that he had bottled up inside of him. And then I will be like, okay, so do you want to continue with this relationship or not? Because if you're bringing me a problem without a solution, we're not going to go anywhere. And then I think he will fear that I will leave. And then he will say, okay, no, I want to stay in the relationship. So we pretty much had broke up like 3 times like that. Like he's always said that he never believed on separations and things like that. And this year in January, what surprised me the most was like in our argument, he said, I'm really concerned about our relationship and where it's heading. We're supposed to be thinking about marriage. I'm going to be 42, you're 39, and I don't feel like we're there yet. I feel like I'm only 50% sure. And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to be 100% sure. So we talk about it and we agree that he was going to be putting more of his parts for us to make time for each other, that we're going to stop making time for our friends. We used to like drink on the weekends and party. And as I started partying less and I started drinking less, I start asking for more of him.
Mhm.
I start asking, let's do other plans that don't involve eating or drinking. Let's
Mhm.
go to the park. Let's do these other things. And he was a little bit more uncomfortable with those plans because that involved intimate conversations.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then in August, I noticed that he was telling me to do more things on my own, right?
Mhm.
And he was telling me that he wasn't feeling well, that he was a little depressed and anxious, that he didn't know how to explain that. And that carried on from June to almost August. We have a slight disagreement in August, and he didn't talk to me for 2 days. I told him that, okay, I understand you need your space and time, but give me a day and a time that we're going to sit down and resolve this. And he did. I went over to his house He told me all the negative things about me. He told me, and it was, I don't think it was mainly my actual negative things. I think it was kind of like a mirror effect, because the things that he was saying about me didn't make sense with my personality. He was telling me how I'm not a reliable person, that I was a little bit selfish, that his biggest concern is that we should be thinking about moving in together. And he's concerned about us moving in together and getting a house. And at the slight argument, I would just end up the relationship. I would block him, and I will be dating somebody new after 3 days,
And
which I'm actually the opposite.
have you ever blocked him in the past?
Yes. Every time that we have breakup, I I will tell him, listen, I need to block you. I don't need you to contact me. Give me a few months. When after a few months that I stop having feelings, sentimental feelings for you, romantic feelings for you, I'll reach out to you, because he will always question me. You're always really good friends with your exes. Why you want to block me when we break up? Why you don't want to talk to me? And I will explain to him, I'm friends after, but I need a time and space to process my feelings.
Okay, so he was not unreasonable when he said that you would block him.
No, he wasn't. No,
That's true. Okay.
that's a true statement. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
the reliable, when he said that you're not reliable, was he referring to, you say you're going to do something or you're in the relationship and then you're not? Where is that coming from?
My, I don't understand why he will say that I'm not reliable, because I'm actually the opposite. The people pleaser. And whenever he had a huge issue a year ago, that he, crashed his car at the beach and he had a huge accident in there, I was the one who picked him up. I was the one calm. He was
No, I
frantic.
don't
And
think that's what they generally mean. I
yeah,
think reliable, when they say a person's not reliable, they don't generally mean that this person won't be there for me if I needed them for logistical stuff. Was there ever a time in a relationship where you said, I can't do this anymore? I can't
yeah.
be here anymore. Okay, so generally that's what they mean when they say you're not reliable. Because on one hand, the partner says, I want to work things out with you. I want to be with you. I want to build a life with you. I want to spend forever with you. I'm in this no matter what. And then on the other hand, it's, I don't think I can do this anymore. And it's justifiable, right? A lot of
Yeah.
times the pressure is so much that the other person is thinking, how can I possibly do this? But what they're hearing is someone who is saying, I promise to be here no matter what. And then on the other hand, at another time says, I don't think I can do this. So what they're really experiencing is a person who shows up as inconsistent. So
Mm.
both the anxious and the avoidant, they do the same things to each other. They're both scaring each other by the things they say and the things they do. Both show passive aggressive behaviors. Both show inconsistencies. But we don't tend to see that because it's acted in a different way.
Mm, okay.
Right? You
Yeah.
blocking him, and this is not to place blame on anyone. This is really
Yeah.
just highlight our behaviors and how we're misinterpreting our actions and what they're probably seeing. So the whole point of these podcasts is to hear your stories and to offer a different perspective. So when you're in the relationship, you could see what the other person's thinking too, or what they might be feeling as well, right? When you block him, he might be feeling abandoned, rejected,
Mhm.
not good enough, while you're doing what's best for you, which is good. He's done what's best for him, saying, you know what, I need a break from this relationship, or I don't see myself going forward in this without that 100% certainty that he's looking for. And you're saying, okay, fine, you want to leave the relationship, totally fine, but I'm going to block you because I need that peace of mind. I don't need to be looking at my phone every 2 minutes wondering, did you text me? Did you call me? I'm guessing that's why you do it, right?
Yeah. Every
Okay.
time we will break up, I will completely block him, and I will be like, no, I need my space, and I will not break, not contact at all.
And look, it's smart, it's wise, and you're communicating this to him. However, we're looking at feelings because when it comes to our feelings, Logically, we know what the other person's doing. It doesn't make it feel any better. So we want to take both into consideration. So he's feeling the same thing you feel when he says to you, we shouldn't be thinking about moving in right now. I'm not 100% there. You feel rejected. You feel hurt. You feel not good enough. Now, when you block him, even though the relationship's over, right? Feelings don't just
Yeah.
disappear. He feels the same thing. And now he's comparing himself with your other exes. Oh, you're friends with them. So why am I not good enough to be a friend? What he's unable to
Hmm.
see is that you need space to become friends, which
Yeah.
again, brilliant idea. If you're going to be friends with an ex, you have to take that space to heal before you could come back and, start a different relationship with them.
Yeah. And every time we would break up, I had to explain that to him calmly and talk it through because he couldn't understand that.
Mhm. You just had a realization there, though, as we were talking, when I said how he might feel about it.
Mhm.
What was
Yeah.
that realization?
The part of that you're talking about being reliable, to me, it's about logistics. I'm there. I will bail you out from jail if it's needed. I do all these things for my friends, and you have witnessed that and you have experienced that. But emotionally, it now it clicked to me what
Yeah.
he will feel like.
Well, that's what most of us are doing in relationships. We're showing up logically with the
Yeah.
logistics, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we want to live together and I want to get married by 40. How are we going to do this logistically? Whereas with the avoidant attached person, they're looking at it more on an emotional level. If I don't feel safe, if I don't feel fulfilled in the relationship, if I feel like I'm getting depleted over and over and over, then how can I live with this person? If it is so difficult living apart, what the hell is it going to look like when we live together?
Yeah.
Right. And so that is why
Yeah.
they're not 100% convinced. And can we be 100% convinced? No. And they know this as well. They're looking for just where is the weight? Is it more on this yeah, we have a few things to work through, but I really enjoy spending my time with this person. That's it. If an avoidant and an anxious attached person can just enjoy being with the other person, the logistical stuff could be worked through.
Okay.
First is the
Yeah.
having the fun.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that every time that we will break up, he's like, I don't know what happened. At the beginning, we had so much fun. I don't understand what's going on. I feel a little different than at the beginning. And his idea was like, let's spend more time us together without any friends, anything. And but I was like, things change. We progress. It's different.
But the fun
And then
doesn't have to end. I'm not someone who believes that the fun needs to end. I mean, think about it. When you go through a breakup, what is it you miss? You miss the fun.
the fun.
It's the fun that keeps the relationship going, whether it's a marriage or you're just dating someone. It is the fun that keeps it going. Now, people will say to me, like, oh, relationships are not just fun. You've got the other stuff to deal with. Yes, but you don't have to make it 95% of the relationship, just 5%.
Exactly.
You just
Yeah.
discuss the heavy stuff when there's need for it.
And I felt like I kind of knew that he was after like dating him for 6 months. I kind of knew that he was a little fearful, avoidant. Without I didn't want to label him, but I could understand all the childhood stuff that he was explaining to me, and I didn't want to tell him anything about that I thought about him because I didn't want him to feel offended. I just wanted to continue to watch his demeanor, but it ended up being we had really good arguments per se. We had very good with boundaries in that. We would not bark big, like at each other. We were not loud. We didn't use curse words. I think it was something that we both have in common that when we are upset at each other, we stay quiet and we separate.
Hmm. Now, what I would say about that is that that's not quite a boundary as yet. That's an
Yeah.
understanding.
Oh, okay, okay.
This week, I've been talking a lot about boundaries and the difference between boundaries and ultimatum and holding someone accountable and understandings and, compromises. They can be easily misinterpreted. All of them could be easily misinterpreted. Now, before I continue with this, I've got to ask, what are you hoping to achieve from this particular session?
Probably to, if I ever, I feel like I'm a little avoidant too. So I feel like if I learn more about this and I can work on myself to become a little bit more like to become secure, I will avoid putting myself into this type of situations again. I will see things right away and I will not, invest any more time. To
Okay.
me, it's mainly for me
All right.
because I feel like I'm a mix. I'm a mix of a little bit
Yeah,
anxious and
you are
avoidant.
fearful avoidant. I've picked up on that. The fact that you can, sit with the person and ask, okay, where is this going? Right. And when they say, all right, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, and you could do that step back and decide, all right, I'm going to block this person and then I'll be friends with them later on. But, even friendship with ex, not a lot of anxious attached people will be friends with their ex. Not a lot of them. But an avoidant attached, generally, fearful avoidant attached may keep that connection until they find their partner, until they find their person and they're really ready to commit. That's when they start easing off of the exes, depending on what kind of relationship they've had with those exes, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you can self-soothe when you are out of the relationship. You're not reaching out to your ex and asking to work things out and all of that. That's secure attached people do that as well as avoidant attached. So, but because you're looking for connection, you are fearful avoidant, leaning a little more on the anxious side.
Yeah, I noticed
You're not
that.
leaning dismissive, you're leaning anxious. Okay. So boundaries. That seemed to be the thing that caused a little bit of this back and forth, the hot cold, the push pull in this relationship. Do you know where it started? Where the push pull or
I
where
think it kind of
at boundaries?
started,
Mhm,
yeah, it started as soon, probably after 2 months when I was like, okay, where is this going? Where
mhm,
this is going? And he started giving me the speech about not labeling things and putting them in a box.
mhm.
And I didn't agree with that. And I told him that I would give him like a couple weeks to think about it, but I was not going to be okay with that.
Okay. What do you wish the label was after 2 or 3 months of being together?
We will date exclusively.
Mhm,
It wasn't more than you calling me a girlfriend or anything. It's about your okay. We agreed to get to know each other exclusively, and we work on it until we decide how the next step will be. Because to me, I've never had this issue about dating or calling. I never had a problem with the name thing.
yeah, so you don't really care about the labels.
No,
All right,
no,
that's
it's more
another
the
sign of
respect between
fearful
each
avoidant.
others.
That's
Yeah,
another fearful avoidant. And now that I'm securely attached, I completely get it. I really don't care about the labels either. So I understand that. All right. So this was where you wanted to be exclusive
yes.
and explore where this relationship can go. And it was something that he was not willing to commit to.
He couldn't understand me that it wasn't about the name, it was about more being exclusive, so we had to have a long conversation about it until he finally understood it wasn't the label. I wasn't pushing to be the girlfriend. I
Mhm,
was pushing for respect and loyalty.
mhm. How does it being exclusive translate to respect and loyalty?
To me is that if to me it's if we are exclusive, that means that we are committed to get to know each other without third parties.
Okay. And what was confusing about it before? Was it the language? Was it the information he was receiving?
He kept thinking that I was just pushing him to be the girlfriend title kind of thing. And
Okay.
in his mind, he's like, if I like you and I care about you and I want to get to know you, it doesn't matter if I call you my girlfriend or not. I'm here because I want to be with you.
So it was
not
a
with anybody
complete
else.
misunderstanding. He
Yeah.
just did not know. Look, this is just about us being in a monogamous relationship right now. Nobody else involved, just me, you get to know each other. I don't care if you call me your girlfriend. I really don't care about the label. This is about two human beings not having anybody else involved and just getting to know each other.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Then you noticed a shift 2 to 3 months after, even though you have so many similarities. You have a lot in common, things were going great. 2 to 3 months, there was a shift. What was that shift?
When the holidays came,
Mhm.
the holidays were a big deal. His birthday is like a couple days prior to Christmas. So it was Thanksgiving. I have a huge family. He was very concerned about meeting my parents and spend time with them. So he didn't brought the concern in that kind of way. He was just like communicating less with me, kind of not talking about the holidays. And then he will all of a sudden we're watching TV and he will tell me a horrific story from his childhood of what encountered him. And it will just shock me. And I will play like, oh, I hear you. But inside of me, I was like, wow. So he became super distant. Then my mom bought him a gift for Christmas and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah. And do you know why this is the case?
I kind of had an idea,
Mhm.
and but I've read it in books, but I've never like seen someone acting like that.
Yeah, it's a time that they're generally reminded of all the things that they did wrong. It's generally a time when they remember painful experiences. The anxious attached never really stop to remember those painful experiences that they have gone through as well. Because if an anxious attached is dating someone who's got an avoidant attachment style, then their painful experience would be that rejection, would
Mhm.
be that feeling of, oh, on my birthday, everybody keeps forgetting me because they tend to date the same avoidant over and over. So they have had years of negative things that has happened to them during the holidays as well. Because it is their avoidant attached partner that breaks up with them, that didn't give them that, get them that gift, that did not wish them a happy birthday or wish them happy holiday, whatever it is. But they choose to ignore the painful experiences they have had and continue pouring into everybody else. Whereas the avoidant attached will sit there during the holidays or their birthdays, and they're remembering every negative thing that has ever happened.
Mhm.
And now someone comes along and they're being nice to them, and they're like, well, what's the trick here? Because this is not how my story goes. Now he's going to go to this family get together with you guys. One, mom's getting him a present. He doesn't even know mom. Why is she being so nice to me? Right? I'm not
Exactly.
used to people being nice to me. Why is she being nice to me? Now I'm obligated. I've got to give her something. If not, I'm not a nice person and I don't know this person. So what am I really going to give them? What if I get them something that they don't like because I don't know them? So he's all up in his head. He goes to a family get together. It's more of an interrogation for them. It's like they're sitting there and they're wondering, okay, this person's going to ask about my job. What do I say? What's the right thing to say to impress this person so that this person likes me? Another one might ask me about my past, my exes. What am I going to say? What if someone asks me why I don't have children yet? So it's more of an interrogation, and that's what's
Yeah.
going on in their heads. Unfortunately, you as the partner, you don't know what you're dealing with.
No, not at all. That year, I bought actually all the presents for his family and I shipped them to New York because I want to help him out. He had some financial issues and then he didn't get any gifts for any one of us, which I wasn't expecting because I kind of don't like gifts too because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Oh,
I don't like the gifting thing, but that's when I started noticing. Okay, he is really an avoidant person. Like it was.
he's probably leaning, well, he's fearful, but probably leaning more dismissive. And look, I get it. We're the sweet, kind people. We want to accommodate others. This is really about being attuned to their needs, though, right? It's being attuned to your own needs as well as theirs. And the thing is, when you're fearful avoidant and your partner is fearful avoidant, you're in a better position to know what they're going to feel. So, for example, if you're not doing financially well and your partner says, your partner is sweet and attentive all the time and decides that, okay, he's going to purchase all the presents for your family in New York. He hasn't really met all of them, right? How would you feel
I
about
yeah. Oh yeah, I wouldn't like it. It makes me
it?
uncomfortable. Like, why are you
You
doing that?
exactly. So now we're able to put ourselves in their shoes, right?
Yeah.
And it's much easier for you to do. Boundaries. Let's go back to boundaries. The way we set a boundary is not by asking another person what they want, right? So if I'm talking to my partner and after 3 months of dating, I say, I am not comfortable with us dating other people. I'd like to give this a fair chance and be exclusive. And my partner says, well, let's say we're dating, not my partner right now. And this person says, I'm not sure about that just yet. Or whatever they say that tells me that they're not 100% certain.
Yeah.
The boundary is to protect me. It's not to tell them or give them permission or ask anything of them. It's to say, I will not be continuing in a relationship with someone who, after all of this time, is still not sure as to how they want to proceed with me. And thank you for your time. I wish you all the best. Now, in that moment, they may say, hey, hang on. I really like you. I need some time to think about this. Again, you get to choose, not them. They made a statement. It's like a job interview. You go to
Yeah.
person and they're like, I'm going to give you 20,000. You say, no, I'm not okay with that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. Doesn't work for me. Now they may step in and say, okay, how about 25? And then you might say, let me take some time to think about it. But to have strong boundaries, you have to know that it is your job to protect you. Your job to protect you. So if he asks you, all right, can you give me, I need some time to think about this. You decide how much time you're going to give him based on how your life is going. If you're saying you want to be married by 40, you have a very good idea how much time you've got to waste on a person or a project or whatever that is. So you can say, how about a week? I can give you 1 week and we can get together and we can talk. Now, with avoidant attached persons, we know you may not hear from them in a week because they don't like the pressure or they don't always know how to have that uncomfortable conversation. But you have to set the boundary with you. The limit is with you. You've given 1 week. What do you do when you hear from them in 8 days instead of 7 days? You have a choice. You can choose to meet with them then and be considerate of their time and whatever's going on. Or you could say, sorry, bro, I gave you 7 days. This is the eighth one. I wasn't waiting after yesterday.
Okay.
And we're unable to set those boundaries because we are so desperate for that connection.
Yeah.
Right.
I will tell him things and then he will do it for a little bit and then he will stop. And I will not hold him accountable for those things.
Mm-hmm. The way we hold someone accountable is really we state the boundary and then there must be a consequence. So, for example, when someone says, hey, I don't want to make plans for the weekend because I don't know what's going to pop up. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We have only so many summers on this planet, right? We don't know what our weekends are going to look like. And you mentioned something. You said that you kept your weekends free for him and you did things with your friends during the weekend. I'm
Yeah.
going to bet, because I've got good friends, I've got family members, I am going to bet you that there were times when things came up on the weekends and your friends or family members wanted you there and you said, I can't.
Oh no, always cancel
Always.
everything. Always.
You canceled everything for him on the weekends.
Yes.
Okay. So that tells him that he's your only priority. And that puts pressure on him. It makes him feel like he's got to show up. That's the thing that makes the avoidant attached feel like they have to walk on eggshells because you're sitting there, it's a little girl waiting, waiting, waiting.
Literally.
Good. So when you're setting a boundary, again, the boundary is with you. I'm not sitting around waiting for you on the weekends. My life's going back by, right? So when he says something like, I don't know what the weekend looks like. I don't want to make plans in advance. You say, sure, fair enough. You're a human being. You get to do what you
Yeah.
want. You go ahead with your plans. If Susie calls you on a Friday and say, hey, what are you doing Saturday? Do you want to go to the movies? You go to the movies. If you've got nothing to do and Susie's a nice friend and you want to hang out with Susie, go out with Susie. Now, when he calls you Saturday morning and say, hey, what are you up to? You're excited. You're going out with Susie. I'm going out with Susie. Suddenly he starts to see that he's not the priority and you're not just sitting there waiting for him to tell you when to jump and how high to jump. He starts to respect you because you're not telling him what to do. You're not telling him how to show up for you. You're saying to him through your actions, if you don't show up for me, I'm going to do my own thing. And it's not passive aggressive. It is you're showing him these are the consequences to your actions. You're choosing to do this, and that's all right. You're choosing not to prioritize me on the weekend. You're choosing not to plan things ahead.
Yeah. Definitely. No, at the end of the relationship, I started doing that and couldn't believe that. He was like, You're leaving me? And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to go on the boat? You like, oh no, they should have let us know ahead of time and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, I was at his house. I was like, listen, they just decided we're leaving in 30 minutes. Do you want to come? Do you
Mhm.
want to stay? Oh, no, no, I don't want to go. And he started giving me excuses. I'm like, okay, bye. See ya. So I will leave.
Yeah. And that's what happens generally when we've gotten so tired of the relationship, right? When we're down
Yes.
at the end and we're like, okay, we're done. I'm done with this. However, it comes across as resentment and passive aggressive because we're not quite comfortable with the way we're acting. We're not owning it. We've not made a decision earlier that it's okay. It's really okay if you don't want to go. I respect you as a human who does not want to go.
Yeah.
And that's why it can come over as a punishment.
Oh, I didn't never see that perspective.
It can come across like we tend to think that it's only the avoidant who does this kind of behavior as a punishment to the anxious attach.
Mhm.
But the anxious attach, fearful avoidant all do the same thing. The other person could feel the resentment.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, I was very, very tired.
Yeah. Yeah. And they feel it. And that's when they start to think that, you know what, this person's just fed up of me. They're
Mhm.
checking out already, so I'm going to break up with them before they break up with me.
Yeah, it was kind of something like that.
Yeah. That's why every time someone comes to me, they say, it just came out of the blue. It was just like a small issue and we broke up. It's not a small issue. It's a list of things piled on to the other.
Yeah, that's why he spoke for an hour and a half, nonstop,
Hmm.
telling me all the negative things about me and how he's been feeling this whole time. And I hear him, and my response was, I have nothing more to give you. I tried everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I gave him a hug and I left.
Do you think that he might come back?
Not sure. He hasn't reached out to me, and it's been a while now. And he started dating somebody new
Hmm.
right away. Like after 2 weeks,
Well,
he met somebody. So,
we know what that means. All it means is that he's in a lot of pain and he needs a distraction. As painful as that would be for you.
To me, it was, I don't know, maybe it was my perception was like I felt betrayed.
Hmm.
I felt really, really betrayed because when in the hour and a half of him lashing out about the things that he didn't like about me and things that were uncomfortable in the relationship, that's one of the things that he mentioned. You will get mad at me, you will break up with me, and then after 3 days, you will be dating somebody. And
Uh,
that's exactly what he did.
yeah.
So
So it's a
it was the opposite.
it's a projection because he knows
Yeah.
he would need to do something like that.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
it was him.
it's hypocritical.
Yeah. And he wanted, it seems like he wanted me to know more or anything because it was a coincidence that I left a place and he walked in 20 minutes after.
Hmm. Now, should he return, how would you go about setting your boundaries? What would those look like?
I think I will try. This is why I feel like I need to work and become insecure and have my own life first and me being the priority. And if you want to add yourself to it, I'm okay to compromise in certain things, but I think I will try not to stop my life for the other person.
Hmm.
And I notice it was this has been a big year for me because I have noticed that I'm such a huge people's pleaser, and I have made, because I have made a lot of progress from that, and I have made a lot of people uncomfortable with saying no, I can't, I'm tired today, I won't be able to, and without making up a lie. I will continuously make up lies not to go to certain places and do certain things that I don't want to do.
Hmm.
That I think that will be my next step to work in my secure attachment, just to prioritize myself.
Oh yeah, no, no has become my favorite word.
Yeah.
It's always let me think about it. And most of the times it's a no. It's been very powerful because it's one of the things that an anxious attached or avoidant attached does not know how to say. Now, that fear of people are not going to like you. That's a
Yeah.
huge, huge fear. So you end up saying a lot of yes and you're depleted. The anxious attached never realizes how depleted they become, right? All right. So
Yeah.
how you would like, or I would suggest you set your boundaries. One of the things you don't want to do is limit yourself. Putting that expectation that, in at 40, you want to be married, that just having that in your mind can make you overlook certain things about a person to accommodate this need to be in a relationship or a marriage by a particular age. 'Cause that's the goal. And you might see certain things that you don't really like, but you think that you could work through after marriage, and you accept this person. It takes a while to really get to know another human being before you can make a decision on if this is someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And in your case, you have a child. You've shared that you are careful with, introducing someone to your child. So sometimes the timelines that we put for ourselves is kind of a setup for failure.
Mainly my idea of, I've been married, I already have 2 kids. So my idea of letting him know that,
Mhm.
it was, in my mind, it was pretty much, I'm not gonna be dating you 3,000 years and waiting. I want to build something with somebody, and I was not gonna move in with anybody unless we have plans to get married,
Mhm.
because I want to build something. Mine is, otherwise I'd rather stay in my house and you're in your house, because I don't want to bring people to moving a boyfriend to move in my house. No, I won't do that to my kids. I'm either gonna get married, because we talk about moving in after like a year of dating, and I told him no, I'm not moving in with anybody unless I'm getting married to get ready to get married, and we're not there yet.
Okay. And
So
would you live if this person came and said, "Okay, I want to get married and let's do this in 6 months, but let's live together first." Are you open to doing that?
I told him that if we were engaged, I will agree specifically to him, because he has, what I have witnessed from him is that he will say something and he will mean it, he will do it.
Mm-hmm.
But and his little tweaks, every time we would go back, he will go back to his old ways. But he will tell me, Natalie, I'll be here today at 4 o'clock. He will be at my house at 3:59. And he
Mm-hmm.
was the same way with friends, with family, and with work. Like
Mm-hmm.
his word means a lot to me, or meant a lot before. I will be okay with that if it was because of financial reasons that he needs to save money to buy the engagement ring.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, no.
All right. So when we give our word on something like I'll show up at 4 o'clock and I'm there at 3:45 or 3:59, that's a small ask. Marriage is a bigger thing. Marriage is a bigger commitment. Okay.
Okay.
So again, when it comes to boundaries, the agreement needs to be made with you. And we have to know, and I'm usually careful when I say this because I don't want people to come in relationships with a fear-based mindset. At the same time, we want to be prepared. We want to know that human beings can change their minds. So a person can have every intention of getting married to you, they get engaged, every intention of getting married to you and move in with you, but then their fears start to take over. Because what you have noticed is that this is someone who will say they're going to do something and they make an effort. They consistently make an effort to do this thing. But after a while, and you've mentioned this earlier in the
Hmm.
podcast too, that they tend to go back to old patterns.
Yes.
That's the thing about patterns. They're not just patterns and habits, they become personalities. And it's not easy to change those. You've been in therapy for 2 years. Guessing you're still in therapy.
Yeah. Yes.
You're actively working for 2 years. And there's still many things that you are learning every day that you need to work through. For example,
Yes.
2 years of therapy, we're now talking about how to really set a boundary.
Yes.
Right now, we're talking about what the boundary actually is. It's not telling the other person, I need you to show up for me this way. It's telling the other person, this is what I need before I can continue. Right?
Yes.
We can
Mhm.
get engaged and we can live together, but if I notice that after 3 months we're not yet planning a marriage for 6 months from now, I will have to leave this relationship or I will have to ask you to leave. It's how I feel and what I want and what's best for me. Doesn't mean that you're not open to a discussion, but you're telling them in your boundary, it's what I need to protect this. Let me give you an analogy that will help.
Okay.
You've got a precious diamond, okay? It's a precious thing that you need to protect. It's valuable. It has a lot of worth. That's you, right? You're going to take that diamond and you're going to put it in a safe, and the safe is going to be in a closet. The closet is in a room. The room is in a house. The house is in a yard. The yard has a fence around it, and you're going to have a security alarm system around it all. You are protecting it. You're not standing outside of the fence and asking the thief, please don't come in and steal my diamond. You are protecting it through
Okay.
your actions. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one of those little signboards and you're going to stick it in front of the house that says this house is protected by this security. You're not standing there screaming and telling the thieves that you're protecting your stuff. You're showing them.
Makes sense.
It's the same thing you do with you. He comes back, if he ever comes back into the relationship and you're considering giving him a chance, or anyone coming into the relationship, love you can give. Everyone deserves love and kindness. But trust, time, patience, those are things that are earned, right? Imagine you meet someone on
Yes.
the outside. Are you just going to open all the doors and let them go straight to the diamond?
No.
Let's see if you could go into the yard first, and then I'm going to consider you going into the house. And you do it with your children. You have
Yes.
strong boundaries with your children.
Yeah. Very strong. I don't let anybody inside my house. I don't agree with the moving thing. It's
And why is that so?
They're so precious to me.
Why aren't you that precious to you?
Right? I'm always putting myself like down in like others first.
Yeah, would you let anyone treat your kids the way that they've treated you?
Oh no,
If
definitely not.
someone came, babysitter, for example, and said, I'm not sure if I want to take care of your kids, what would you say?
Oh, great. You don't have to.
There we go. And that's the conversation we needed to have with him when he said he wasn't quite sure if he wanted to be in a committed relationship,
Yes.
right? And also,
Yes.
I mean, this isn't to say I'm not for walking away from every relationship, right? There's some relationships where you want to give it some consideration. You said that he had a list of negative things he wanted to share with you about you. Not reliable, we've worked through that. When he said you're selfish, what did that mean?
He was in his mind, it was like I always want to do what I want to do. Like he didn't get enough price. If I ask him, let's go out to this place, and he doesn't feel like doing it, but he will still do it for me.
Mhm.
And then the next day, I ask him to do the same thing, and he will say no. He will say that I'm giving him a hard time, and I don't give him enough compliments for already trying and done it and once.
Mhm, mhm. That is that's when the avoidant attached person, they generally hold back on giving things because they feel like if they do give one compliment, one present, one card, one kind act, the partner is going to want more and more and more and more. And
Oh,
that's
okay.
when they end up with, believing that the other person is selfish.
Okay, makes sense now.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. It's like, and
Yeah.
that's why they have such a hard time with the good morning text, right? It's like one morning they miss it. They get the good morning every morning. Not once does their partner ever, generally, right? Generally speaking, would say, hey, you send me those morning texts and I really, really appreciate it. It's so sweet, makes me feel so energized. So we're not validating them and inspiring them to want to keep doing this thing. It's a motivation, right?
Yes.
So we don't do that. But then that one day they miss it. And we're like, why didn't you text me this morning? Something's off. What's going on? And they're like, geez, man, I just missed it one day.
Exactly.
So it starts to feel like a chore, like something they have to do. And so
Okay.
they come back with, geez, nothing I do is ever good enough.
Mm, makes sense now from his perspective and mine too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's
He
understandable.
also, yeah. So he also mentioned that something that I find it very curious was that he was saying that he's an anxious person or he absorbs anxiety. And he continued to tell me, I need you to bring me peace. You walk into my house and you're just talking and telling me, what's going on at work or your family or your friends. And I absorb all of that.
Mhm.
So it got to the point that I stopped talking a lot about my work, my family, my friends. And one time he mentioned something that I really memorized. I was telling him something about some friends. He's like, Natalie, keep those conversations to your girlfriends. I don't care about their drama or their things. I only care about you, what you have to tell me about you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of selfish. I listen to you about your work stuff all the time and I advise you about work. Like he will come up to every single decision at work. I had to be part of it. But then when I have something to share, it's too much for you.
Yeah. Well, let me just help you out. If you're going to date another avoidant, let's just talk about the avoidant brain or the secure attached. The difference with the two is the secure attached person would say, hey, that's a little too much for me to handle right now. Right? They will
Okay.
communicate. The avoidant attached won't. We talk about you got to read the room.
Yeah.
You have to read the room. You have to know what to say, who to say it to.
Yes.
The same thing with the avoidant. What's your background? I, I, what's your background?
Oh, okay. Okay. I
I
am
can guess.
Bolivian.
Pardon?
Background, my country or
Yeah,
culture?
yeah, yeah, because your culture.
Yeah, Latin and he is white.
Good.
Yeah.
So your culture is very similar to mine, right? Let's say our parents, for example. I'm going to guess that you can't call them by their first names.
No.
Okay, same with me. Can't call our parents by the first names. But there's certain people who can call their parents by the first name, and that's okay. So we have to get to how do we know that? You spend time with the person, spend time in their environment, and that's what's called reading the room. I learned that, okay, this person can handle this kind of conversation, or they like being addressed this way, or they like this kind of thing. Same thing with our partners. You see, the thing is, we're now in a culture where we're being told and taught or made to believe that our partner has to be our everything. And so we go and talk to them like they're the girlfriend. And we talk to them that like they're our kids. And we talk to them like they're our parents. We expect them to protect us and provide for us and nurture us and all of it, like every person in our lives. And then sometimes we go to them as he might be coming to you as a business coach or a therapist,
Yeah.
right? And we have to know exactly what role we play in this person's life. You're their partner. The moment you start becoming their mother or their parent in any way, the attraction goes away. Nobody's attracted to their parents. The
Makes
attraction goes out.
sense.
Like, hey, did you sleep well? Hey, did you eat? Why don't you
That
eat
was me.
this? Look, and the thing is, it was me as well, right? The thing is, we grew
Yeah.
up in homes where we became the parents for our parents. We had to take care of them because they were stressed out and all of it. Right?
Yeah.
They were
Makes total
unhappy
sense.
about something, so we were busy fixing ourselves and making sure that we stay out of trouble so they can be fine. So we were parenting, right? And now we do it with
Correct.
our partners. And it is the most boring thing a partner could go through. I mean, I'm not in that situation now, but in past relationships, when a partner told me you should do things this way and do it that way, hell no. I don't want my father all over again, right?
Yeah.
When he talked about the fun that you had together, that's partnership. That's partners.
Okay. Makes sense. Because I
Well,
was doing everything. I was doing everything. I was things that he will forget. I already had them ready because I knew he will forget. So it was, yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was pretty much like a mom.
Yes, yeah. And look, it doesn't mean that you can't be caring, right? If your
Yeah.
partner's unwell and you notice that, of course you could get them some soup or whatever it is. It doesn't mean that you don't have to care, but know when you're slipping into that mom's role and then ask yourself, why am I doing that? Why am I being their mother? Why does a mother do it? Yes, she genuinely cares, but she's not competing for her child's attention. We do. We compete
Correct.
for our partner's attention. That's why when the relationship ends, we could sit there and say, they'll never find somebody like me again because we were their mothers.
Yeah. And he sometimes, one time, like he mentioned that to me. He's like, you resemble me so much of my mom. And to me, that was super offensive. I'm not like your mom at all.
Yeah, well, the one thing my partner says is, you're nothing like my mom. I was like, oh, thank
Right.
goodness. Thank goodness. I could dress like her. I like the fact that I could dress, and I heard she was very spunky, so we could take that, but not like his mom. But yes, so, learning to set those boundaries, you've got to first start with you. And I think when we have children, it gives a good gauge of, okay, I love my child and I could protect my child, and I will not allow anyone to hurt my child. Why am I unable to do the same thing for me?
That's a good start.
Mhm. Any questions you've got before I let you go? I know I could continue this forever, but yeah.
What is a healthy approach if the person decides to come back and you're not sure if you really want them back or not?
You have to take your time. Trust is a very, very fragile thing. You have to make an agreement with yourself. You know who he is, and you're going to need to take time to reveal how this person is showing up. So you could keep looking at their actions And when it's not in alignment with what they're saying, keep a mental note, have conversations with yourself. Okay, this person says they're going to do this, but that's not what they're doing. Am I comfortable with that? Can I negotiate with it? Because talking to them isn't going to change anything. Give up on that bit.
Yeah.
Right? Give up on talking. Just act accordingly. Okay, Saturday he said we were going to go out for brunch, and then suddenly said, you know what? I'm tired. I'm just going to stay in instead. Okay, fair enough. Human being, respect it. You could change your mind. But next Saturday, what do I do when he says, hey, let's do brunch? Am I going to put myself through that again? And this is where you get to say, let's reconnect Saturday morning about this because I may have other plans. All right. You have to start. There's a priority list. Write your number one priority because you and I may not have a conversation again. Your number one priority should be you, your health,
Perfect.
your happiness, your peace. Because if you are not whole, you cannot be a part of any other relationship. Your number two priority, you get to decide. And then have a bracket for your number threes. It's got to be the people who you know you can count on, who are supportive, who inspire you, the most important people in your life. It's going to be a small list. When you go through that long list of people, that number three list is going to be very small.
Okay.
Okay. And then that fourth list is everybody else. Everyone else that you know don't really rally you on. They're not really supportive. They're not people that you could really trust or rely on. That's down at number four. What that means is nothing is more important than your number one priority. Sometimes people will have work or kids as their number two. And then they might have siblings down at the bottom and best friends and whomever else at number three. If something happens to number three or number two, you know how to move your attention. It's a
Okay.
very, very important list. It helps you to not feel scattered. Now, this person coming back into the picture, he starts way at the bottom of number four because he's a new person. And now he's got to earn the right to come up close to where you are.
Okay. With
Whatever he,
actions.
yeah. So that is kind of like the diamond, you number one, and all of the fences that he's got to get through before he could come to you. And based on knowing that, having that visual in your mind, you will be able to set your boundaries a lot easier. You know, your time, how you
Yeah.
spend your time, how you spend your energy, how you prioritize.
Perfect.
Of
Thank you.
course, you're most welcome. Any other question?
I think that's all my questions for now. Thank you so
Okay.
much for your time.
You are most welcome. Thanks for doing this for me and for my listeners.
Thank you. Have a good
It was
day.
a pleasure. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.